And we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Voices in Motion. My name is Shataya Williams, and I am the outreach coordinator with Moms in Motion. And I'm super excited today because joining us, we have Healing Strides of Virginia. So, a little bit about Healing Strides. They are a nonprofit organization committed to transforming lives through equestrian assisted services. Their mission focuses on empowering individuals of all abilities, physical, emotional, and cognitively, through their incredible therapeutic power of horses. So we'll be talking with them today about the work that they do. And today we have Ashley and Morgan. So again, I'm super excited that you guys are able to join us today, and I'm excited for your presentation.
Thank you so much for having us today. We are excited to be a part of this and looking forward to giving you guys a tour of our wonderful facility. So you can see behind me right now. Well, first of all, sorry, my name is Ashley Arney. I am the Director of Development here at Healing Strides. And we've got Morgan Jameson with us, who is the Director of Operations. You can kind of see she's got a little babe in arms. That's Stetson. And so we are both really excited to be here. Morgan has lost her voice. I'm gonna speak for her on this point. If she wants to dip in, you might hear a little husky voice in there. So anyway, we're gonna be walking around, and please apologies for my shaky hands. I'm on my iPhone, but I'm gonna do the best that I can. And if anyone has any questions, please feel free to stop me. I'll have maybe at the end, if there's any questions that we can answer, I'm certainly willing and able to do so. I'm going to give you a little bit of history behind Healing Strides, and then we'll kind of walk around and see what we've got going on. So this is the main building behind me, and we started in 1991 as the Roanoke Therapeutic Riding Center. It started off being in different areas throughout the Roanoke Valley, and it started between two neighbors, one of which had horses and one had a child with disabilities. And they realized the power that horses could have in helping that. Excuse me, Dusty. So we had in 1991 a handful of horses and 15 participants. It was really slow to start, basically really focused on children. It wasn't until 2001 that this property became available. It was 23 acres here in Boone's Mill. And the only thing on this property was an outdoor arena, trailer, and porta-johns. They had lame horses, and it was really struggling. They ended up putting a roof on the arena, which put them in debt. It was I think it was $140,000 in debt. So, Morgan, please dip in if you would like to say anything as well. In 2008 is when our fearless leader, Carol Young, came on board to volunteer. Carol she had 8 children. She had 22 horses of her own. So she came with a wealth of knowledge when it comes to horses and managing people, 8 children. So when she came on board, she really saw a huge potential here. Long story short, the board got her involved. She became the executive director. Fast forward a few years, we rebranded to Healing Strides of Virginia. We also, when Carol came on board, she brought 11 of her 22 horses. We still have one of those 11 here. Her name is Eclipse, and we might get a glimpse of Eclipse. No pun there. So we're going to start walking around a little bit so that you guys can stop looking at my big face here. And I'm going to turn you around just so you all know, our mission is to we serve people with personal challenges in a safe and supportive environment, which that is all of us. And that really changed in 2020 when COVID came. There was a real big push to have support for mental health. I am currently going in the pavilion area. This has been, it's not a dusty barn anymore. Carol has really helped with finding donors and grants to be able to build this up. This is the, there you go, look at that. This is the indoor arena. This is the only thing that was here, and you can see the metal structure on top, the roof, and that is what put them initially in debt. By the way, I think that Carol came debt-free within a couple of years of her being here, which is pretty fantastic. We did have a veteran breakfast this morning, so you may see some veterans walking around here. They're in the middle of a tour right now. They are one of the many people that we serve. They're in the background over there, and we have other people here as well. So we're going to walk this way, and it wouldn't be a tour without Skippy, who is our resident barn cat, kind of worthless cat. He doesn't really eat mice. We have a classroom here, which is used for any number of things. We have, apologies, it's not in use right now, but I just wanted you all to see that we do have this. Let me go back out. There's a nice picture of Stetson and Morgan. All of our offices have doors and windows. We are very transparent in what we do. We do have, just so you know, in the classroom, we do offer education and coaching programs, and this allows for continued help in leadership and strengthening. Yep, there you go.
I'm going to try to unmute. I'll try to talk loud, but again, I don't have a good voice. But one of the things our classroom is used for is we have a program called hippotherapy, which is a partnership with our local hospital, Carillion. This is Willow, by the way. And they do pediatric PT, OT, and speech out here. We have, like I said, a contract with them for about 24 weeks out of the year where they're actually doing a medical treatment on the back of the horse. So they use the classroom for beginning and ending of those sessions. And then we also do a lot of educational parts around our instructors, getting educated to become certified through our overarching organization called PATH, which is the Professional Association of Therapeutic Horsemanship. And then we also do quite a bit of just community education. We'll host different groups here. We'll host different classes here. We've done like CPR training. We've done some educational pieces on like human trafficking and working with the local authorities and such, and getting them educated and our staff educated on how to best help mitigate that as much as we can and to be aware of it. We've also done many different things in our classroom. We have a regular routine group that uses that twice a week for they're a substance abuse group, and so they are in an inpatient substance abuse facility that they work on coming out here to learn about boundaries, communication skills, and different ways to have life skills that they can put back into play. But they use that classroom pretty much every week, twice a week. I'll hand it back over to Ashley for a minute.
Thank you, Morgan. We are walking into the TAC room right now. You did get a glimpse of, thank you, of Destiny and Willow. This is our TAC room. We currently have 31 horses, 30, we just retired one, 30 horses on property. So the TAC room is a high traffic area, so it needs to be, well, you can tell it's very organized. Every horse has their own saddle, has their own grooming bucket. This is a place where volunteers can come. We had 16,000 volunteer hours that were clocked last year. So we literally could not do it without our volunteers. I'm looking out right now. That's Emily, who is a part of our equine care staff. She actually started off being here as a volunteer. We couldn't do it without Emily. Hi, Emily. Thank you. Also, this is Destiny. So we're walking around the indoor arena. And this is Destiny, sweet girl. Destiny is well, actually, they're all pretty prized, wonderful horses, and Destiny does littles up to veterans as well. So we're going along here. We have a volunteer space for our volunteer coordinator, barn manager. We have 5 stalls here. We do not stall our horses because they are social animals. They need to be in herds. And so the only time that you see a horse in a stall is if they're sick, in quarantine, or the possibility of being in between lessons. It's a different view of our indoor arena with a beautiful mural that we have right there.
Yeah, so our horses all live, and you'll see it here in a few minutes, all live out in paddocks in herds, which is what Ashley was referring to. And so, like she said, we only use the stalls as needed for specific reasons, but they're very handy to have during the day for our lessons. And then this is another, again, we're kind of double touring right now, but back down the opposite direction we just walked is our alleyway or our hallway that all of our horses pretty much come in and out, and you can kind of see Destiny tied way down at the end. Whenever we have current services happening or our horses are getting prepped, our volunteers are helping with that. Our horses kind of tie along this wall up and down the fence. I'm sorry, not the wall, the fence on the left. And so there's tie spots and there's saddle hooks and bridle hooks and labels for everything. So everybody kind of knows where they're going and how it's organized. That way, when we're prepping for our lessons, we have everything out and ready to rock and roll. Currently, right now, we're serving about 125 riders a week. And so that's not including anything that we do on the mental health side of the world, the mental health coaching and education program. And that kind of ebbs and flows. Usually in the summer, it does go down with our numbers because people are on vacation, kids are doing other summer activities or out and about with their family. The fall and the spring tend to be our largest sessions is what we call them, and we usually go up around 150 to 160 riders a week, and that includes that hippotherapy program I was referring to. We also have a small collegiate program that rides out of our facilities, and so they join us back in the fall. But yeah, so I'll be quiet and let Ashley keep going again. And again, if y'all have any questions, it looks like there's a chat box maybe down here on the bottom. I don't know if we can use that, but I think we could. And then also, feel free to shout out if you have any questions or anything you'd like to see more of.
Thank you, Morgan. Huge help. All right, we are heading to the back area where we have the majority of our horses, and we will see the herd. But we're able to actually see the back end here. We have 3 arenas. We have one indoor arena, which you just saw. We have the outdoor arena, and we have the mental health education and coaching side of things, which is a bit separate from the therapeutic riding side. And we have an arena in there. This is a wonderful area. I'm not sure if you can tell, but this is thick footing. We got a grant from numerous Rotary clubs here in the Roanoke Valley, and we were able to turn this, what used to be a parking lot and a couple of paddocks, into another arena. As we continue to grow, we needed more space. So this is, sorry, what did you say?
Was it 20?
2019 is when we got this grant, sorry. So that is an excellent place for jumping. You can see we had jumps, cantering, more high impact for the horses. It's better for their hoofs.
Yeah, so one of the things that we believe is that all of our riders, so our mission here is to serve anybody with personal challenges in a safe and supportive environment, partnering with equines. And so doing that allows us to serve a very large variety of people throughout the community, but it also allows us, our ultimate goal for all of our riders is to be as independent as they possibly can. And so that may look like, you know, some of our riders that may have CP or Downs or something, or have some ambulatory issues, you know, they need more assistance. They need sidewalkers, they need leaders, or their mounts and their dismounts are a bit more complicated. We have several riders with MS, and so they need a little bit more assistance getting on and off, but once they're on the horse, they're fine. Some of them need more assistance when they're on the horse and when they're getting off the horse, all of the above. So we have the ability to offer sidewalkers, which it looks like 2 volunteers walking beside them and doing some sort of hold on their leg to make sure that they're staying safe, along with a leader that's guiding the horse. But then we also have clients that come in and they, you know, they're ones that are more struggling with social skills, or they're struggling with learning boundaries, or they're struggling with anxiety, or they need to be more active in their life. They're trying to lose weight or something. And so those are all other ways that we can help someone achieve their goals and overcome some of their personal challenges. And so we do have riders that, this is Ed, by the way. He said, I go come over and say hello. But we do have riders that can do all, you know, riding all the way up through jumping 2 foot. We go to some small local shows to support getting out and encouraging those kids to be independent and responsible for taking care of their horse, and packing and prepping, and then making sure that they manage themselves and their horses well. So there's a large variety of clients that we serve here. And so having those different arenas is very helpful. The other thing that's really helpful, and you'll probably notice as you're watching this video, is we have a really large variety of horses here. We don't really focus on any one breed or any one gender. So we have mares and geldings. We don't have any stallions, but we have mares and geldings all mixed together. And then they're all different breeds. So this dark brown one or blackish one closest to us here, that his name is Bounder. He's been here for about 10 years now. He is 26 this year, and has retired from our riding program, but is moving into our mental health program on the other side. And then you met Ed. He came over and said hello. There's the gray horse on the other side of Bounder. That is Eclipse. We could actually probably go in, Ashley, get a little bit closer. Ashley was referring to Eclipse earlier in the tour, and Eclipse is still here, still loving life, hanging out with her boyfriends. But she's been here for a long, long time doing many different things. And then this lovely paint here is Amigo. He's relatively new, and he is just starting into our ridden world of programming. The masks that you see on their face, a lot of people think we're blindfolding them. I promise you we're not. Those are fly masks to help keep some of the flies out of their eyes and nose and ears so they don't get bitten throughout the day. This gray one here is Eclipse, by the way. And then she's kind of showing you another side. I'll let Ashley tell you about the horses she sees. Ashley, if you want to do that.
Yep, I can do that. So we have I see 3 horses, typically 4. I bet one is behind in the run-in shed. You can see that every paddock has a run-in shed, which gives them all shelter. We have our equine care staff who take care of these horses. They are really the ones that, rain, sleet, or snow, they are always here to feed and maintain and make sure that these horses are well taken care of. You can tell that the ground is pretty clean. They muck a couple times a day, and that does include the volunteers that help as well. They all have hay nets around their individual paddocks. Except for this one, they have the big one, and there's a big one in the other paddock there. So we've got Roe, who is right there, if you can see him, and then we have Quip, who is right here to the right. You can see they are just excited to eat their hay. And then that is, I believe, General. It's very strange to see in perspective. Excuse me, guys. Um, and he is actually massive. He is a Gypsy Vanner horse. We actually have 3 Gypsy Vanner horses, and he is the largest of the 3. Lyric, who is one of our Gypsy Vanners, we actually won her on a Facebook competition. So other people, oh, look at sweet Ed. So I'm pass it off to Morgan if you have anything else you would like to add.
Ed keeps following us around. He wants to be involved for this tour. We have several other horses. We won't go through everyone, but on the other side of the fence, so you all know, I think Ashley showed it earlier on the video, but these horses all live in the stall in the paddock during the day, and then at night you can kind of see the green field on the other side of the fence. That is where they all get turnout, and so they usually go out at night so that it's easier for us to get them in and out during the day for lessons. And then within each paddock, they have shelter and salt and water and hay, and they can kind of navigate however they want to navigate. And they make friends and throughout their life here, and so we try to keep them as happy as possible and engaged with their friends. And then, as they're needed for sessions or lessons, depending on whatever programming they're in, they will. Ed is still following me. It's like I would like to come with you guys. It's funny. Anyway, we'll come and get them out of the paddocks and then bring them back in. So yeah, we'll kind of head back around the other direction. Sorry, Ed, you have to stay here. You stay here, buddy. See you later, bud.
Okay, so this is the back side of where we were before. You can't tell, but through these trees and bamboo, we have a trail. We call it our sensory trail. It's a really neat area for our participants and their instructors to go through and meander. There's some obstacles. There's hanging pool noodles. There are mailboxes that can help with, some people who need some cognitive as well as physical therapy. They can stretch, they can move. There are pictures throughout the trail, so it really engages. Yeah, there's a bridge and a tower, and it's an amazing trail for the kiddos to, and I shouldn't just say kiddos, all participants. Yeah, thank you. Morgan's going to show you a little bit of that area. Here's another side lesson going on in there, and that looks like so not all of our lessons are done on a horse. A lot of what we do is ground-based. So Morgan is walking the start of the trail there. You can see her. And
we have next week a whole group coming out. Also, this is just our cute mailbox because we like to have mailboxes and do fun things. They're coming out to repair quite a bit of our trail and put down some bluestone on the pathway you see here and clear some of the bamboo and overgrowth that we have. Obviously, our trail we try to maintain it as wild as possible, but safe as possible so that horses can easily traverse and people can easily traverse, but also to be able to get out and enjoy nature and all that it is. And so I'm not going to walk the whole trail, but I'll walk a little loop here. So hopefully next week we'll see a little bit more changes through here. We try to keep it mowed and such. They're going to take down some older trees, and larger groups like that are super helpful because we can do larger projects. And so they're, like I said, coming out to do several days worth of work, repairing stuff, clearing some brush, putting down bluestone and gravel and such. which we are always very grateful for. You can kind of see in the distance there. I'm not going to walk all the way out there, but there's a tower, there's a bridge, there's another mailbox, and it kind of loops back around and comes back up and through. And I'll just cut across so y'all can see the other side. But yeah, Ashley?
Yeah, thank you, Morgan. You can see we are right now, I am on the back end. Morgan is down through that trail coming back up. We have two main places, and you can see the separation here. The right here, if you see my hand, this is where we were in the main arena, and that had the indoor arena. And this building to this side is our mental health education and coaching side. Because what we do on this side, we do follow HIPAA compliance, so we are able to seal this area off for our participants. So you can kind of see the arena here that is it's all enclosed, but it's open on the sides here. This section right here is also for our horses who are new to the program that are on quarantine. So we currently have a new horse. We've actually had a little bit of an influx of new horses because we had some older horses we had to retire. Hi, Cappy. And we have some newer horses here that we are entering into the program. So as I said before, when they're being stalled, one of the reasons would be for quarantine. And this is because that if they are coming in from another facility with other horses, we do not want that to spread to the horses that we have. So this is Cappy. He is doing really well. And one of our current riders actually purchased Cappy. And then we have Pete right here, who is another new horse, and he is a love bug. Really excited to have him a part of the program, and he just got released from the actual program as well.
Yeah, so the way we get our horses in, a lot of people ask if we own all these horses. We do not. Healing Strides does own a few, but we generally prefer to lease them from our different people in the community. Like she said, different riders sometimes want to purchase horses and lease them to us. And so that kind of looks like them being able to lease their horse to us. We have the rights to use them in the program, and we take care of all the base care. So that does put a lot of the financial burden into Healing Strides of taking care of hay and grain and paying our staff to manage them and clean stalls and make sure that their basic veterinarian care is met. And then if they do have an owner, the owner is responsible for more of the overarching care, like that's outside of the ordinary. So if they need special shoes, or if they need, if they have to have colic surgery up at Virginia Tech, which is a blessing to have such a large animal hospital so close to us, that would be kind of what the owner would contribute towards. And then we also have horses that Healing Strides owns. We have about 8 of them. But again, we try not to own too many. The lease allows us to support the horses as they're working here. And then if they need to retire, we have an owner to help make sure those horses are well taken care of after they leave here. It's important in the horse world that, horses don't just get turned into loose hands. And so for us, that looks like making sure they have an owner to go back to, and or helping that owner find a retirement home or a place for that horse to go where they're going to be well cared for through the end of their life. Pete is saying, hello, I would like to be on camera as well. And so it allows us, hi buddy, it allows us to make sure our horses aren't just well cared for here, but are well cared for throughout the rest of their life in their older stages, which is a really big, important thing for Healing Strides. We keep track of all of our horses that leave our property. We just retired one off our property this week, actually. He'd been here for 10 years, and we were able to find a friend of Healing Strides that had a horse and needed a partner, a friend for that horse, and a safe horse for her little girl to learn on. And so it was kind of the perfect scenario where he is now going to be able to go live close by so we can keep an eye and an ear on him, but also where he can be well cared for through the end of his life. We're now going into the feed room. Sorry, Emily, we're just following you around. So Emily is currently working on setting up dinner for the horses. So obviously breakfast and such went out about 8 o'clock this morning, but we keep all of our horses listed on the board here, and then all of their feed and supplements all listed down throughout the whole thing. And then we are very organized, and we keep everything very labeled. You can see the horses' buckets are labeled. They're in order of how we feed them. Um, all of the supplements and the grain and all of those things are all labeled. Again, we try very hard to make sure that each horse is getting their nutrition met throughout their time here. So depending on what they do for us, we will adjust their grain and their supplements as needed. And then our awesome equine care staff takes care of making sure everything is well organized, tidy. We scrub our buckets every day. We muck our paddocks, like she said, twice a day. And then they're actually finishing up. Say hi, Brody. Brody's one of our equine care staff as well. He's out mucking and getting all the manure and old hay raked up for the day. Yeah, y'all are all on camera. So this is Mark. He's one of our veterans. And so he was here for the veteran breakfast this morning. We have a lot of our ponies are up here. Some of them are older and they're mid-20s, and then we have some that are kind of in their younger ages. We have a couple horses up here on top of the hill, Gypsy here, and then Jersey at the far end. Those two both have some asthmatic issues, and so we manage them a little bit differently than the whole herd. So they do live in a small paddock kind of to themselves. But yeah, all of these horses serve in varying different capacities for us. A lot of our smaller ponies serve in that pediatric program we talked about earlier with hippotherapy. Again, that's speech, occupational, and physical therapy that they do on the horse. It's not a riding lesson. They're not learning riding skills. It's a medical treatment. And then we have several that do strictly only our mental health coaching and education program, because that's all ground based. And so when they're on the ground, the horses are able to freely move and be themselves and take care of themselves. They can interact with the clients as they see fit. And then we have an equine specialist and either a rec therapist or a qualified mental health professional or a LCSW, so a licensed clinical social worker, someone of the sort in there doing the therapy side of that. And they're working together, so the horses, the equine specialist, and the counselor, to work towards those people's goals, those clients' goals, and or to make sure that they are working through whatever trauma or personal challenges they may have. But again, that's all ground-based, so none of those horses that are strictly for that program, they're not ridden. And then we have a large grouping, about 20 of our 30 horses are all able to be ridden in some varying capacity. And so they work in many different programming and serve many different clients. Like I said, we have a lot of veterans that we serve. And then we have a lot of moms that come out for getting out and about, being active. Some of them have ridden in their past life. And so they, had an old injury or something that stopped them from doing this years ago. And they've been able to seek help in the medical world to get that injury taken care of, and then to also get back into riding. And it's a social thing for them. It's activity for them. Some of them, during COVID, everybody was kind of locked up at home. And so I think we gained a lot of adults that way because they wanted to get out and do something engaging, active, but also safe. And so we've become a very large barn for a lot of adult riders. And then we also have, our clients that fit into that category of adaptive riding. So we have some that have amputations, some that have traumatic brain injuries, CP or MS or Downs, varying array of autistic children and adults. And so all of those horses are used in some capacity and some sort of section of those programming. But yeah, we have to have such a large variety to make sure that we can serve the clients that we have coming through our doors.
Okay.
that concludes the tour. There are many stories that we could tell you about in regards to the people that we serve. And I'm certainly, it's 35 minutes. So if, can you see the chat function? I need my glasses, people. Oh, okay. Well, hi, there you are. Nope, you're not. But you can be with me. There we go.
Yeah, I think you just cut out.
No worries. There we go. Are there any questions that we can answer? Anything that we can show you more of? Anything that we can kind of do for you
So
all?
we don't have any questions right now. However, I do have some questions for you all.
Sure.
So, what do you all think make horses such a powerful therapeutic animal?
So there is this, you know, that is a loaded question because that could really go into a lot of scientific,
Mhm.
evidence-based answers there. What I can tell you is with a horse, there is heart math. And we as humans have a 3-foot radius with what we pick up. I can
Mhm.
feel Morgan's energy right now. And if she was coming in at a high energy, I would feel it. I would want to walk away from it. Horses have a 15 feet heart that they can pick up our heartbeat. So we link up to theirs within, 15 minutes. And so that lowers
Mhm.
our heart rate. That gives us more of a calming nature to so a lot of our, and I'm going to let Morgan really go in on that more. And that was, yeah, I know you didn't hear the question, but she had said, what do horses, and please repeat the question for Morgan.
The question was, what makes horses such a powerful therapeutic animal?
Gotcha. Thank you. Sorry,
No problem.
I'm not sure how I got cut out, but all of a sudden it was gone, and I was like, oh no. Yeah, so a couple of things, like she was talking about, there is some science behind heart math. You can actually look that up, but also referring to that. So horses have about a 16-foot radius that they influence. Um, sorry. 16-foot radius that they influence with their energy, and
Mhm.
their heart and their body is obviously significantly larger than ours. And so when you get into the presence of a horse, one of the main things it's going to do is help regulate your own heartbeat, and lower your heart rate so that you can start to find just calm and peace and regulation within yourself. And that can help you deal with some of either your emotional dysregulation, or your overall anxiety or stressors in life. And then the other cool thing is, we're predators and they're prey. And so a lot of people compare horses to dogs, but it's a very different dynamic. Horses are a prey animal, and so they respond very differently than a dog would. And so we are able to see the reflection of our energy and our intention in that horse. And so it teaches us to have self-reflection, and to work on our communication skills, because the horse is so genuine. They're not faking it. They're not lying. They're not trying to take advantage of you. That's just not how horses are made, and that's not their true essence of who they are. And so, what it does is it allows our clients to kind of have a little bit of a mirror effect of like what they feel, what they see, how they're communicating, and allow the horse to say, oh, that wasn't a great way to communicate, or I didn't understand what you were saying. Could you re explain? So, it really builds into life skills there. And then the other thing is just some like basic stuff. It teaches you some responsibility. You got to go get your stuff ready. You've got to go get your horse. You got to groom your horse. It teaches you how to have good skills to take care of yourself and to take care of others, and what that means and what that looks like in the community. And then, the physical sense of it, when you talk about like OT, PT, and speech, and they're on the horse, they are using their core strength in a very different way than we do in any other capacity in our lives. So it's working on core strength, it's working on balance, it's working on stamina, it's working on hand-eye coordination, it's working on midline crossings, which can be a really big deal. So a lot of our students and clients that seem to have more complicated personal challenges, they're not good at crossing their midline because it forces their brain to jump those synapses back and forth. And so steering your horse, using your right leg and your left hand at the same time, things like that really help your brain to connect different pieces and parts that you wouldn't be able to connect in other scenarios. And then just overarching, we're really big into our culture. And what is our culture? Sorry, my kids obviously chatting in the background. What does our culture feel like and look like? And so we believe that anybody that walks through our gates is accepted as they are, where they are, and how they are when they come. And so it's important that people that come here feel welcome and feel supported and feel safe to express themselves so that we can help them achieve their goals, whatever those look like. And so we're very family oriented. We're very supportive of people outside, just their personal stuff. If they bring it here, we're like, how can we help you? What does that look like to help you? Do you just need, a listening ear? Do you need to go spend time with a horse? Do you want to take your mind off of it and go, do something a little more detail oriented? So we have a lot of varying different ways that we can utilize the horses. And horses, one of the things that they love to do, it's really important to them, is to relax. They do not want to be in a stressful environment. And so they actually help to regulate the entire environment because their heart rates, like I said, are so much slower than ours. Their hearts are bigger and slower, that they help the entire environment just feel calmer, quieter, steadier. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yes, it does. Thank you so much. So you mentioned your participants. So how can someone enroll with you guys to start one of your programs?
Yeah, it's a great question. So you can get online for one. We have a website, healingstridesofva.org. And there's a lot of different information on there that'll tell you about all the different services, but also how to get in touch if you want to sign up to be a rider or if you want to sign up to be a volunteer. You can fill out the application online. You can also contact us via our phone, which is 540-334-5825, and talk to our office staff, and they would be able to kind of point you in the right direction for whatever type of programming you're looking to get into. Obviously, I've talked about a lot of different things, and so trying to figure out what's the best service for the client coming in is important so that they're getting the needs met that they have. But that's a great question. The other thing is, if you're in the area, stop by. We're open pretty much 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. We do special events and such on the weekends, but yeah, stop by, swing into the office, and they would love to chat with you. If you want to do a tour, we'll schedule a tour and take you out personally and talk to you more about what we do in depth. But yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. And my last question is, do you guys have any upcoming events, fundraisers, or community days that you would like our community to know about?
I will speak to that one, as well as I just wanted to dip in as far as who we serve. We do go as far north as Harrisonburg and as far as Radford. We've had some people even beyond. So we really do have a very large reach. And if there's anybody who is looking for services beyond, like within or outside of the area that we do, we certainly we have people that we can get in touch for and give you that information. Our next upcoming event would be the Boone's Mill Apple Festival, and that is in Franklin County. We are actually located in Boone Mill, and so that would be September 12th and 13th. This is a new thing that we've started doing. On the 12th, which is Friday, we're going to be having an apple smash. So it's like an outdoor concert, and we'll have a food truck and beer truck, family oriented stuff, family activities, kids activities. And then the next day it's more like a vendors, over 100 vendors and carriage rides, and all the proceeds from that comes directly here. And forgive me if I did say this before, but I definitely want you all to know that we have 40% of what we bring in is from our programs, and 60% of what we bring in is from grants and donations. So that is a big help when we have things like the Apple Festival, and we are able to contribute to what we do and the people that we serve.
Yeah, the Apple Festival sounds like so much fun. I am in Nova, but I might have to take that drive to come because it sounds like
Please
it's going to
do.
be so much fun. So, thank you, Ashley and Morgan, for allowing us to explore Healing Strides today and for sharing your time and your passions with us. The work you're doing is definitely life changing. I enjoyed seeing all the horses. So I know our viewers enjoyed seeing the horses, and anyone who views this video past today would definitely enjoy. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having us on. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You're welcome. And if you're watching and you want to learn more, you could visit Healing Strides at healingstridesofva.org to explore their program, donate, or get involved. You can also reach out to Healing Strides using the email that we dropped in the chat. And if you think that equestrian therapy could benefit someone that you care for, please don't hesitate to reach out to them. Thank you all for watching, and until next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.